Welcome back to This Is Arlington, Arlington High student-produced television show. I'm Ashton Gillespie.
And I'm Milan Bailey. On this episode of This Is Arlington, we are going to give you updates on national news as well as local stories around Arlington and its community.
We don't want to keep you waiting any longer.
Let's take a look at our top stories. The 2023 prom date has been decided. The dance will be held on April 15th, so make sure you save the date. The 3 available themes are Hollywood Nights, Oscar Nights, and A Night in Venice. So make sure you log into Schoology and vote for your favorite theme. Make sure you get your shopping done, and remember, this is a formal event, so make your clothing purchases accordingly. We can't wait to see you there.
Senior night for the Tigers and Lady Tigers will be held during the basketball game on January 31st. The Tigers play Southwind on our home court. The girls play at 6 with the boys following at 7:30. Senior night will be in between those games. Come out and cheer on the seniors as they approach their last moments on the court.
Seniors, it's time to do the FAFSA. If you want money off from colleges, you have to complete the FAFSA. Completing the FAFSA will make you eligible for the Hope Scholarship. The Hope Scholarship can be up to $6,000 a year. The FAFSA will also open up a lot of different opportunities for grants and scholarships. So make sure you have it completed no later than Wednesday, March 1st.
The Film Appreciation Society hosted a movie night on Friday the 13th. It was a free event for families to come out and enjoy the movie Hotel Transylvania. Popcorn, candy, and drinks were sold for $2 each to raise money for the club. Donations were also accepted. Thank you to everyone who came out to support this amazing club.
Now let's send you to AHS Tiger Life reporter Noah Sershin with a news update.
The Shelby County Sheriff's Office is investigating a rash of crimes in a northeast Shelby County suburb. This is your update on news happening in the Mid-South and across the nation. Deputies responded to a shooting call on Breezy Shore Cove on Saturday, January 14th. Authorities tell us that the woman was found shot to death in her home. No suspect information is available. A Lakeland resident's quick thinking in a carjacking has him thankful for his life after he was caught in the middle of an attempted carjacking. The victim said that he was headed to the gym around 6:30 a.m. on Saturday when he noticed an Infiniti driving slowly in the Stonebridge area. He assumed they were looking for unlocked cars, but what happened next caught him by surprise. The suspects then blocked him in, and it was at that moment where the victim threw his car into reverse and then sped off to make a getaway. With all these recent crimes happening in Shelby County suburbs, it's left residents here on edge. We've told you about those car break-ins here in Arlington and Lakeland. Deputies want to reassure the public that they are taking additional steps to keep residents safe.
Additional patrols, video surveillance, and some other tools that we're using to try to detect or prevent crime from occurring.
Buckner also says that deputies sit together as a team to review each crime that happens in their jurisdiction. The FBI and U.S. Attorney's Office is now launching its own civil rights investigation into the death of a man beaten to death by MPD officers. Tyree Nickel was pulled over by officers near the intersection of Rains Road and Ross Road for reckless driving. A confrontation ensued when officers approached the driver's vehicle. MPD says that Nichols ran away and then a second confrontation took place. Now, according to reports, Nichols told officers that he was short of breath before being transported to St. Francis in critical condition. He died 3 days later. Family held a protest demanding justice as they are understandably angry over the death of their loved one. They described Tyree Nichols as quiet and an innocent man who never got into trouble, the father of a 4-year-old son and a skateboarder. The family is confused as to why officers would beat him to death.
You shouldn't be on a dialysis machine looking like this because of a traffic stop. That's unhumane.
The family has retained prominent civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who represented families of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. MPD is conducting an investigation into this death, and they hope to release body camera footage soon to the public. With your update on news happening around the Mid-South and across the nation, I'm Noah Sershin, AHS Tiger Life News.
With the opening of high school grades at Lakeland Prep this year, our student body has changed. Many Lakeland freshmen opted to continue at Lakeland, however, some students chose Arlington instead. Tiger Life reporter Julia Hardy brings us an inside look.
Lakeland has just opened up their campus to high school students. Several of these students have decided to transfer to our very own Arlington High School.
I started off for a month and it was pretty good. Most of the learning though was like review.
I was at Lakeland. I started the year, 4 weeks into the year. My dad pulled me out of Lakeland and I transferred to Arlington.
once again, the focus areas were very limited, and I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do yet, so having that big wide variety coming to Arlington made it a little bit easier to kind of pick and choose what I wanted.
My focus area was at Lakeland, but there was a lot of limited ones. Like, there wasn't as many options when I saw like options you could get at Arlington, and I realized that like once I came.
Well, so at Lakeland there's not like, it's an all 9th grade school right now, so the sports teams aren't really developed right now.
I felt like there was less opportunity at Lakeland. They only have freshmen and the school is so small and just starting out, so less clubs and teams and people.
Well, it was a little bit of like my sister being at Arlington, and then my brother also for like sports, because the sports weren't like up to date with Lakeland just because it was new.
So I do cross country and track, so both of those teams are a lot better here than at Lakeland.
A lot of it was sports for me. Lakeland's soccer program was going to be very new. They weren't going to have a ton of experience, and I didn't know what that was going to look like, but I had been to some soccer camps with Arlington previously, so I chose Arlington for sports.
Lakeland, just being one class, you can't really make friends from older grades or like meet new people.
I wanted the full high school experience because I didn't want to be the oldest the whole time. I thought it'd be weird. It's nice having an example to kind of look up to and a model, just to, I don't know, see what it's like.
I think it's been a lot of fun. Definitely made more friends. I know a lot of people from here to begin with, from like football games and stuff.
You don't know everyone here like you did at Lakeland, so there's different people in all your classes.
I really like it here. I've made a ton of new friends, and I'm really happy. Go Tigers!
Most people associate Brent Lyons with the men in hoodies, but there's more to his story. Jake Stoop and I sat down with Brent and his family to talk about him and his journey to Memphis.
I worked for FedEx. I'd been in Indianapolis for about 9 years. A position came available that I had told Kristen was probably a once-in-a-career opportunity if it was ever going to come available. It did. Took about 6 months during the interview process, and ultimately we got the job. Early August of 2016 is when I started.
We just sat them all down and just said that, you know, their dad had an opportunity that he really couldn't pass up here in Memphis. My main concern was just with Brent being in middle school, that he would be able to make the transition well, that he would be able to find a good group of friends and a place to belong in a new church. But Brent is actually super resilient, and he was probably the most open to a change and a challenge. I mean, he was just ready to take it on. But I had been messaging back and forth with a friend just about Brent's first week at school, and it was not a great first week. But as the weeks went on, he settled more in, and it didn't take long for him to feel at home, I think.
I've seen his confidence grow a lot more from where he used to be really shy and keep to himself, and now he can walk in a room and talk to anyone regardless if he knows them or not.
Brent had a friend that he had met at school that kept encouraging him, hey, just try Bellevue, try Bellevue. Bellevue probably wasn't on the list of places that we were going to go. It felt like it was going to be too big, and so we really tried several other places before we really felt welcomed at home.
Eventually we did go, and we ended up staying, and it's been really good.
We've seen quite a few MAs come in and out of the house, especially through the summer, just having them over all the time for meals and for basketball or for, you know, going swimming or whatever.
But investing in Brent and the rest of our kids and spending time trying to develop a relationship so that they see their faith being acted out in front of him. And so what I think has been important is it's not just coming from mom and dad, but it's also coming from those that are closer in age, but in positions of leadership that are showing him how to walk the walk and how to be a man of faith. And that's been encouraging, I think, over the last 6 years.
Brent has really started taking a leadership role, probably I would say like sophomore year, where he really just leads by example in the way that he goes after every workout. He does it to the best of his ability. He does it completely and fully. He doesn't complain, and he brings others along with him. And then I've really seen in the last 3 years where he has been focused on making sure everyone on the team is invited, included, and they're doing things beyond just running together. They're getting together, we're doing pasta dinners, we're traveling together, all those kind of things. He's been very instrumental in making sure the whole group, I think, feels included and feels like they're part of the team.
We're down to 4 months here left in high school, and it gets, I think, a little more difficult each day, knowing that once that first one steps foot into college, it's just going to be a constant change for us and a way for us to have to adjust and grow.
I probably won't miss the messy bathroom and all those things, but I will miss just another guy in the house to talk to.
Brent always invites friends over in the night, and they just have a good time, and it's gonna be hard going to sleep without hearing that noise.
He taught me a lot of things as he's grown. And I think especially in these last 2 years, watching the way the Lord has just taken his life and made something beautiful out of it.
So, circling back to prom, it was really hard to choose from all of those themes. Which one did you pick?
So I picked Oscar night. I really like my choice. I'm kind of glad it got into the top 3. I feel like a lot of them were similar. There was a lot of like Hollywood type themes. I think a night in Venice would be cool, but I did vote for Oscar night. What about you?
I voted for Red Carpet, but in the top 3 I voted for Hollywood Nights. I feel like they're basically the same thing because there was a lot of duplicates, kind of like you said, but I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. That's all we have today for This Is Arlington.
Tune in next time for more stories from Arlington High School and the community.
While you're here, turn on post notifications to see when This Is Arlington comes out with another episode.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.